Chainlink just had a week that shows you exactly where real adoption is happening. This wasn't any hype cycle. It's a structural shift, and if you know how to read the signals, the picture becomes very clear. Today, we're breaking down Chainlink's last 7 days. Whale accumulation hit new highs, enterprise access expanded through AWS, billions in assets migrated after a major exploit, and institutions made moves that tell you exactly where the next phase of adoption is headed. This week showed you where the trust is consolidating and why it matters. Chainlink's market structure strengthens across multiple fronts. Whale wallets holding more than 100,000 Link hit an all-time high, and exchange balances dropped again as large holders pulled supply into self-custody. That combination tightens liquidity and increases the impact of future demand. It wasn't driven by one event, though. It was driven by a cluster of signals landing at the exact same time. Whales accumulating, supply thinning, and long-term holders positioning ahead of institutional flows. This is where the real story starts. More than $3 billion in assets migrated to Chainlink CCIP after the Layer 0 exploit. This wasn't just one protocol reacting to a headline. It was Kelp, Soli, Kraken, Lombard, and others all moving at once. When multiple platforms shift billions in assets to a single interoperability standard, that's a huge consolidation of trust. And it tells you that CCIP is becoming the default for secure cross-chain movement. Institutions made moves that matter. DTCC, the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, announced a Chainlink-powered collateral platform launching later this year. DTCC clears almost every securities trade in the United States. When they choose Chainlink for collateral management, it signals something very simple. Chainlink is becoming the infrastructure layer institutions trust for secure, verifiable data movement. And Fidelity launched a tokenized liquidity fund using Chainlink infrastructure, adding another heavyweight to the RWA pipeline. On the tech side, AWS Marketplace integration for CCIP and Chainlink data feeds went live. This removes friction for enterprises. They can deploy Chainlink services directly through Amazon's ecosystem, instead of building custom infrastructure. It doesn't move price today, of course, but it matters long-term because it lowers the barrier for banks, asset managers, and corporates to adopt CCIP at scale. Sentiment also shifted as the market recognized the scale of the capital migration and the institutional endorsements behind it. Now, Chainlink didn't explode upward, but it did strengthen. The next move depends on how quickly enterprise demand builds on the back of AWS integration and how much more capital rotates into CCIP after the exploit fallout settles. If institutional adoption continues at this pace, Link supply dynamics become a major factor. If not, the market consolidates until the next wave of flows hits. Either way, the signals from this week give you a clear read on what matters next. Now, if you want a clean framework for reading weeks like this without getting lost in the noise, that's exactly why I wrote Understanding Crypto, a clear guide for new investors. It breaks down how flow, structure, and sentiment fit together so weeks like this stop feeling random. I'll put a link in the description, of course. And if this helps you see Chainlink's week more clearly, like the video and drop a comment. Tell me which part of the story stood out to you most. Was it the whale accumulation, the AWS integration, the capital migration, the institutional moves from DTCC and Fidelity? Your take helps shape what I cover next. My apologies, not cross. Anyhow, share this with someone who's trying to understand where real adoption is coming from. Most people only see the price. You're seeing the infrastructure. So stay locked.